Hello everyone, I hope you all are doing great. So today we would be discussing about chapter number 6, which is named as conservation of plants and animals. So what we would be learning in this particular chapter would be biodiversity. Okay, what is biodiversity? Then the reasons for biodiversity loss, how the consequences can affect the human life, then the conservation of forest and wildlife, which is very much important for our ecosystem. So firstly we would be studying what is actually biosphere called. So the part of earth where life exists, that has been termed as biosphere. For example, atmosphere, land, water bodies, rivers, ponds, oceans, etc., along with the plants and animals that live there from the biosphere. Okay, so this forms the biosphere. Now, what is biodiversity? So here we would be discussing what is biodiversity means. The variety, bio and diversity, both are the different terms. Fine. See, the variety of organism live in particular region, right? That is being termed as biodiversity. Okay. So here we would be discussing, see, bio means life. You see here, bio and diversity both are different terms, right? So bio means life and diversity means variety. Okay, so the number, variety and variability of living organism in a particular place at a particular time or a particular point of time is been termed as biodiversity. Okay, so biodiversity, it is dependent, it is the main dependent on the climatic conditions, right? Suppose deserts, you might found that deserts does have camels, right? So it depends on the climatic condition. Biodiversity, uh, it varies, it varies depending upon the climatic condition. See, now there would be a classification of flora and fauna. When the variety of plants are been named, that has been named as flora. But when the variety of animals are found in a particular region, that has been togetherly called as fauna. Okay, now we would be discussing the term ecosystem. What do you mean by ecosystem? The interaction between the organisms and the atmosphere or their environment, okay, in a given region is being termed as ecosystem. Okay, now biotic factors are living elements, okay, and non-biotic and non-living entities are been termed as abiotic factors. Okay, so I think this is very easy, that biotic means living and abiotic factor means non-living elements or entities. Okay, now how loss of biodiversity can occur? Through the process of through poaching, it can happen, because hunting of animals have been hunted, trapped, to obtain their body, to obtain their skin, etc. So by the process or by the deforestation, pollution of air, water, or introduction of any new species, or monoculture is the process, through the process of monoculture, in which only one species is given importance. That also, instead of giving, or growing the native plant species, only one species is given importance. So these are the terms, or these are the ways through which loss of biodiversity is generally can lead to a lot of unusual effects, I would say. Now, importance of forest. So everybody knows why forest is important to us, because our daily life, our daily life things have been obtained by forest, right? For example, spices, gums, raisins, honey, or I would say timber, which is used in making furnitures and buildings, that is also obtained from forest. So how forests have been important to us. Now you all know what is deforestation, right? Deforestation is cutting down of trees, and destruction of forest on a large scale, right? Now why this deforestation can happen? For the requirement of land building, for the requirement of land for building residential areas, to increase the population, increased population has led for the demand of food, that can also lead to deforestation. Then rise in population also has a requirement of higher requirement of timber, wood, wood as a fuel for cooking. So this can also, these are the particular or the main reasons for the deforestation. Now consequences, what are the consequences of deforestation? That is desertification. The barren land would turn into desert, then floods, droughts, increase greenhouse gases that would particularly lead to global warming. So these are the harmful consequences of deforestation, like decreased rainfall, soil erosion. So these are I would say major consequences of deforestation, and we need to conserve our forest. So how can we conserve our forest? Would be through the process of afforestation, biological control, preventing forest fires, society forestries, right? We can use, we cannot we can put some of the other rules so that our forest can be saved. Like strict rules should be followed, and deforestation should be prevented, right? Now when it comes to the second next part of this chapter would be wildlife, right? So wildlife includes all kinds of animals, right? They can be herbivore, they can be carnivore, they can be omnivore. Okay, now what are the major or some following I would say some of the major threats to the wildlife are destruction of habitat. Deforestation can lead to destruction of the habitat, and for the construction of roads, railways, buildings, dam, deforestation happens, okay, which will lead to the destruction of habitat of the plants, animals, everywhere. Everything would be there would be destruction for everything. The habitat would be destructed, like haunting and poaching of animals for the part of skin. Again, this is a threat to wildlife. Then natural calamities like floods, epidemics, wildfires, this will also be, I would say, the major threats to wildlife, and through which we can lose the dignity of our wildlife, right? So following are the measures to save our wildlife is to strictly have some protection laws, so that needs to be implemented to prevent hunting and poaching. Then protection of natural habitat by setting wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. You might have heard about different wildlife sanctuaries and national parks, right? So that is the protection of the natural habitat. That has been said because the Indian government or the government needs to protect the wildlife habitats, right, or their natural habitats. Now educating people about importance and the methods of conservation of wildlife, right, and creating awareness in the people. Stop purchasing wildlife products like claws, animal skin, fur, and ivories, etc. Okay, now what do you mean by species? Actually, a group of individual organisms capable in interbreeding and producing offspring which is same as them. Okay, so that has been called as species. Now International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, okay, this has given some of the categories, like extinct species would be EX, which are no longer living on the earth. Then endangered species, that has been termed as EN, which are danger to extinction, which species are about to get extinct. Then there are vulnerable species, the species that face the high risk of becoming endangered. Okay, then there will be threatened species, that would be T. Those species, the number of those are declining very fast. Okay, least concerned species, I would say the species they are at very low risk. Okay, then rare species, they are found in very small regions and restricted regions. Then endemic species, that is they are unique. They are unique and exclusively found in a particular area only. So these are the terms been given by the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Reserves. Okay. Now bioreserves, it is also having zones, zones for conservation of wildlife. Now you see there are 3 zones. Okay. There is one is transition zone, then the one is buffer zone, and then there is core zone. Okay. Now the outermost zone where of the biosphere reserve, these are the zones of biosphere reserve. Okay, so the outermost zone for the biosphere reserve is called transition zone. This is transition zone. Okay, it involves non-destructive humans activities such as house of tribal people, cultivation of crops, etc. It involves non-destructive human activities. Okay, when it comes to buffer zone, which is the middle zone, buffer zone is the middle zone of the biodiversity reserve. Okay, which involves limited human activity, like it involves limited human activity. But when it comes to core zone, core zone is the inner zone of biosphere reserve, and it observes strict protection of wildlife. So these are the zones of biosphere reserve. Okay, next we would be studying in this would be wildlife reserves and the natural natural wildlife sanctuary. We would be studying about the different wildlife sanctuaries. And wildlife sanctuaries, we would be studying about national parks. Like you see, wildlife sanctuaries are the region that is smaller than the national park. Okay, but when it comes to national park, it meant to preserve flora and fauna. Okay, and it is a, I would say, landscape and a history of the particular region is, I would say, is permitted to enter only buffer zones. Okay, when it comes to wildlife sanctuaries, it would come in the core zones of biosphere reserve. Okay, then we would be studying about the different national and national parks and sanctuaries in India. Suppose Kaziranga Wildlife Sanctuary we would be studying about. The next would be Chilka Lake Sanctuary. So these are the different wildlife sanctuaries we would be studying in this particular chapter. Okay, so I want you all to go through this and let me know if you have any of the query. Please reach out to me freely. Thank you.